Hey everyone. There's been a lot of talk about Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders jumping in has thrown the Democratic Party out for a loop. And most recently, Barack Obama decided to throw in his opinion. Now, we've seen Hillary Clinton throw hers out. But Barack Obama, of course, is the ex president of the United States. He has a sort of quote unquote legacy that he's been trying to kind of keep there and cultivate. But recently, Obama told one of his advisors privately that if Bernie Sanders were to get the nomination or was in line to get the nomination, he would do something to stop it. Now, this is from an article in Politico where Ryan Lizza interviewed several of Obama's advisors, trying to get a sense of how the ex POTUS felt about the current primary and the state of affairs going on right now. And Obama supposedly said this privately. It was never something that was supposed to be public. But of course, it got out. And let me break this down a little bit because it's so important that we understand the nuance to a statement like that. So we all know that there are two other anti-establishment candidates that are still kind of going to the debates and such, and those are Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang. Those two were the only two not to meet with Obama to seek out some sort of advice or just get a pulse on the way things are going. And it's really telling that those two didn't meet with Obama. As you all know, Tulsi Gabbard is despised by the majority of the Democratic establishment. Tulsi Gabbard is also disliked, at the very least, by Hillary Clinton and her cohorts. And the majority of the mainstream media ignores or smears her just like they do to Bernie Sanders. So having her not meet with Obama says a lot. She's also been criticized for not really going after him very much. So for her to not have met with him tells me a lot about what her thought process is and where she's looking to go. As far as Andrew Yang, again, he's also been ignored by the mainstream media, specifically MSNBC. They've given him very little time to talk at the debates, and in general, he's just not talked about at all. And he's bringing, at the very least, new ideas that haven't been discussed in American politics thus far. So even if you don't consider him a progressive, he is anti-establishment. He hasn't really hung out with the establishment. And Barack Obama is somebody that he didn't seek approval of. So that also tells me where this thought process is now. And that's aside from, his economic policies or any of the policies that I agree with for both of these people. But let's go back to the Politico, because Politico reads that the first presidential pilgrims started in early 2018, and they continue to trickle through the summer. Not every declared candidate has met with Obama, and they reiterate here that it was Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard who were notable no-shows, but Obama let it be known that he was available to anyone seeking advice. So Obama let everybody know that he was there and open to seek advice. So the fact that Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang were the only two people that didn't seek advice from him is very telling that they're trying to stay away from the establishment, and Obama is establishment royalty. So the fact that they stood away from him says a lot to me. And also, Politico notes that publicly Obama has been clear that he won't intervene in the primary for or against a candidate unless he believed there was some egregious attack. I can't even imagine with this field how bad it would have to be for him to say something, said one advisor. Instead, he sees his role as providing guardrails to keep the process from getting too ugly and to unite the party when the nominee is clear. But, of course, there is a potential exception, and that was when he referred to Sanders. Back when Sanders seemed like more of a threat than he does now, Obama said privately that if Bernie were running away with the nomination, Obama would speak up to stop him. Asked about this in particular, a spokesperson for Obama pointed out that Obama recently said that he would support and campaign for whoever the Democratic nominee was. So in recent days, they've actually backtracked and said Obama never said that. They're twisting his story, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I don't necessarily buy that Obama never said that and they're twisting his story, because Obama has said other things like that before, right? Obama has talked about how the millennial and the younger generations are too purist and they're cancel culture, and he's belittled that thought process. So it's kind of apparent that he he's not really like a leftist. I mean, a lot of people thought he was. He campaigned as an organizer. He campaigned as a community organizer, and he campaigned as under Hope and Change. But really, he was actually, when he ran against Hillary Clinton, he was running to the right of her. He's never really been particularly leftist. So I think we all created this facade with the help of the mainstream media, with the help of the establishment, that Obama is a sort of leftist when he actually is more of a status quo politician, and his actions during his presidency and thereafter have shown that. So he said, this idea of purity and you're never compromised and you're always politically, quote, woke and all that stuff, you should get over that quickly. The world is messy. There are ambiguities. People who do really good stuff have flaws. People who you are fighting may have their kids and share certain things with you. He doubled down on his finger wagging, criticizing college students in particular who, in his view, think the way of me making changes to be as judgmental as possible about other people, and that's enough. That's not activism, Mr. Obama said. That's not bringing about change. If all you're doing is casting stones, you're probably not going to get that far. That's easy to do. So he's kind of saying that the leftist progressive movement of young people demanding actual change instead of platitudes is a sort of, just like temper tantrum. That's pretty much what it comes across. And this is before any of the Bernie Sanders stuff came out. So this is why I'm not surprised that he said something like that. And also why I don't buy that he didn't say that. I think that was a sort of PR move to try to cover up what he actually said. And, to tell people who are suffering the brunt of late stage capitalism that what they're doing is just casting stones and it's not activism, when they're, every day they're fighting in the streets, they're marching, they're doing everything they can because their lives depend on this next election. To say that that's not activism and to belittle it that way, it's not only out of touch, it's just gross. And for him to say that he was going to stop Sanders in any way, shape, or form. And we also have to remember, you guys, that there was the Stop Sanders movement. The Stop Sanders movement is a movement, of course, just particularly obviously focused to stop Sanders. It seems like the entire Democratic Party is part of the Stop Sanders movement, right? And as we know, the Democratic Party and the establishment are far more intent on defeating Bernie Sanders than they are in defeating Donald Trump. And we can look to the new people jumping in, the billionaires jumping in, and the attention people like Buttigieg have received, even though he's an inexperienced mayor. We can look to all of that to just kind of give us proof, because we're never going to get like the legitimate proof because we don't control the system. We're not in power. And personally, to me, it seems that Obama wants to keep his precious legacy from anything or anyone that may surpass that legacy, that may destroy it or make it look like it's not that great. Because until now Obama has remained largely untouchable. And with Sanders going in there, that would make his legacy be like, okay, the guy that pretended to basically be a community organizer but wasn't. And then you have Sanders, who is somebody that is pushing actual legislation, actual structural change, not just, superficial plans and superficial platitudes. So that is a part of it. And I just want to reiterate that the Stop Sanders movement includes people like Pete Buttigieg and Wall Street and many of the establishment Democrats. So guys, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to be doing more little videos like this. And check out our Patreon and donate, become a member. We put special videos out there before we put them out anywhere else. And check us out on Rockfin, which is a new cryptocurrency platform. It's doing really well. It's picking up steam. And yeah, just check it out over there. We're also on Twitter, at Twitch, Facebook, and of course our the MCSC Network YouTube. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye. Convo out.